Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Etheria restart video. So in today's video, guys, we are talking about the fastest character in the game, secretly, right? Because in base stats, she's not. However, there are some tricky things that you can do with Freya. And shout out to Madaria. I'm sorry, buddy. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Uh, my German brother from another mother. I really like his content, by the way, guys. Great content. I think he puts out some of the most unique stuff. He also does live streams where he does, RTA and stuff. So if you're not subbed to him, I'd go check him out. I really like his content, and he's a really cool dude. So anyway, uh, he put me onto this. So this isn't me. This is how I figured this out, just through him. And I ended up building up my Freya, and I wanted to present it to you guys because I haven't seen him make a video outside of the initial one. So he already has a video talking about how she's super fast. But I just wanted to talk about like a little bit more on the math, and I wanted to show you just a PvP kind of showcase, just one rematch where she cycles so much that like you didn't even need a damage dealer. It's nuts. So let's talk about her real quick and then how she ends up interacting like math wise. Okay. So she has two unique things about her. One is this Dreamweave buff, which is kind of like a form of immunity where she if someone applies a debuff to you, this Dreamweave, which stacks up to 3 times, will remove one of the debuffs by removing a stack. So if she has 3 stacks of Dreamweave and somebody puts up 3 debuffs on you, Dreamweave will remove all of them. So it's a bad form of immunity, but still like a cleanse of sorts. So a pretty cool buff. And then she has a unique debuff called Nightmare, where it's a damage amplification. So it's similar to like Kloss's Hack In or Erosion or Vulnerable, from Dinah or Nell. But Nightmare also gives you some built in life steal, which is really cool, of 12%. And this can actually tick up if you end up skilling up some of Freya's other skills. So these are the two unique things to her kit, but she also does other things. So on her skill 1, she has a double hitter. That's also kind of important because it can pair well with the Revelation Shell. It can pair well with people like Chloros, who wants multiple hits on people. And then the other thing you need to remember is whenever a character has multiple hits, it also means that they have a higher chance of applying certain debuffs or whatever. That doesn't really apply to this skill 1 because the skill 1, the first hit does something, and then the second hit has a chance to do something. It's not like both hits have a chance to do something. I hope that makes sense. But when this is skilled up, because I have it skilled up, the first hit has a 60% chance to apply a 2-turn Dreamweave to a random ally, which is just 1 stack. So this is okay. The Purify effect isn't really important. It's this static ability beneath it that makes the Dreamweave kind of nice. And then the second hit has a 30% chance to inflict Nightmare on an enemy. So very good against bosses. There's even been some content where I've used her for the Nightmare where it's my only heal. I have so much turn meter push or push back from Freya or the other characters that I'm using that I don't need a healer. I just use the Nightmare for the lifesteal with all of the other characters involved, and they end up staying fairly healthy. So good skill 1, but what makes her skill 1 deadly is this Dream Guide. And we're going to stick on this for a little bit because it's really important to understand it. So what this says is each time an ally gains a buff, increases their turn meter by 4%. Before this is prowessed out and you use lattices, it's 3%, which might seem small. But trust me, it's going to matter. Okay? So each time an ally gains a buff, it increases their turn meter by 4%. And each time an enemy is inflicted with a debuff, there is a 70% chance to reduce their turn meter by 4%. This effect can be triggered up to 3 times per turn. That's also very important. Okay? The Dream Guide effect is then doubled when she gains a buff or is inflicted with a debuff. Now, I'm almost positive that this is incorrect wording. It's incorrect wording. What this is supposed to say is the Dream Guide effect is doubled when Freya gains a buff or inflicts a debuff. I'm almost positive that's what that means because there's nothing in here that talks about her gaining turn meter if she receives a debuff. So that's what that's what I think that matters. Now, let's unpack this a little bit. The first thing that I want to touch on is this line where it says this effect can be triggered up to 3 times per turn. That does not mean that Freya applies turn meter boosting and pushback 3 times, and then the next time her turn comes around, it resets. That's not what that means. What it means is if Freya applies 3 buffs, hypothetically, and applies 3 debuffs, hypothetically, the turn meter pushback and turn meter push up will all take place on those 3 instances. Then the next character who goes, let's say it's someone like a Heinrich. Heinrich will apply 1 or 2 or 3 debuffs. And again, this triggers and the pushback happens again on Heinrich's turn. And then the next person goes, let's say it's Klaus, and she applies the speed down, defense down, and Hacken. Another turn meter push. Okay? You get what I'm saying here? This is a nasty, nasty skill that unless you fully understand it, it doesn't seem that nuts. Now, the other thing that we need to talk about is that each time an ally gains a buff increases their turn meter by 4%, right? I said that this seems small from the 3% to 4%, but knowing now, whenever Freya gains a buff, it's doubled on her. So each buff that she applies on herself or gets, it will then be a 8% turn meter boost instead of 6. But it triggers up to 3 times per turn. So if you can get 3 buffs on her, that is then a 24% turn meter boost instead of 18. Now the numbers are getting a bit bigger, right? So that's where that's really cool. So the thing to know here is, well, sorry, let's not jump ahead. I hope you understand that, okay? Her skill 2 will fly through the rest of the skills, then we'll talk about how she's the fastest character. Her skill 2 applies defense up and then Dreamweave to all allies for 2 turns with a 35% chance to apply 1 additional stack of Dreamweave. So this is where it gets kind of nice. You're applying 2 buffs to the entire team. So that's an 8% boost for them and a 16% boost for Freya. Big turn meter boost. Then her skill 3 is a 4-hitter. So this is important for Revelation if you cared, or each hit having a chance to inflict a 2-turn nightmare on somebody. So remember, applying the debuffs also pushes people back. And even though this is only a 25% chance at base, it hitting 4 times increases that chance a lot. So applying the debuffs and pushing people back ends up being a really huge swing. On top of that, if you end up prowessing this chance goes up to 30%, and this damage boost, the damage amp, and the lifesteal ends up getting ticked up as well. All of her prowesses, I have to add, are really relevant. So her skill 1, where you get the turn meter effect, which I think is the most important one, is also where she gets speed. So it's like a perfect skill to level up first. Her skill 3, where you get the nightmare boost, she also gets a lot of HP percentage. And on her skill 2, she gets effect accuracy, which is really important to landing the nightmare debuff. So all very, very relevant prowess abilities. I would love to just fully prowess her because I just think she's awesome. I've really, I've bought into this character. Now, how do we make her the fastest character out there? You do it by using Bulwark. So what Bulwark does is if you have an AP set, she gets immunity at the beginning of the turn. So what that does is it adds a buff. And because whenever Freya gains a buff, she increases her turn meter by 8%, which is cool. Now, we're going to jump to Chat GPT, and I'm just going to show you like how this ends up working. I'm going to use a little snipping tool here so you guys don't have to look at uh, my Chat GPT. Whoops. Okay. Now, this is really, really important to understand. So we're using the base speed. Let me increase this. There we go. So let's say she has a base speed of 300. Then I'm saying that let's say she can gain 3 buffs at the start of the turn. Okay. You can do this. Not with Bulwark. Bulwark only gives you 1. So this would be an 8% turn meter boost. But this is the math behind it so you can understand your speed tuning. So if you wanted to do the math here, let's say Freya's speed was 300, right? To find out what the bottom number here is you would take 1 minus 0.08. Okay? So this is 1 minus 0.08. So 0.92. So if you do 300 divided by 0.92, that is Freya's actual speed. Pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. It is hard to outspeed her. It's actually impossible. You can't outspeed her, which is awesome, right? So how you end up getting 3 buffs is you use her alongside Valerian with Hazy Dream. It's really not, or it's like a really cool ability. she cooks. So yeah, but with Bulwark, like I said, just the 8% really pushes her up. So you don't need her like extremely fast to even outspeed people in PvP. But this is how you do it. Having the Bulwark set on there gives her that turn meter boost at the very beginning of the match. So it's comparing her speed to like other speedsters like Kloss or Lily, and then it ticks her up. So I just have her in a bunch of effect accuracy for PvE. This is for one reason and one reason only, and that is to outspeed difficult bosses on anti-sync echoes. So I think everyone knows how fast some of these characters are, and we won't do a full run, but I just want to show you the amount of turn meter boost. So we have her here with Valerian. These characters are like 370, 360 speed, 350 speed. She's outpacing them. So she gets the Bulwark, the shield, and the attack up. Now look how much turn meter push ends up happening here with our other characters and their characters. Like we almost put the Viper in front, right? Almost put him up there. Absolutely insane. So really cool. Now you can see Freya ends up getting another turn already. Like she goes so fast. It's absolutely nuts. So yeah, that's a really cool way to utilize her in PvE. Same thing with Ember Trek. Like I know a lot of people have a hard time outspeeding some of the bosses in Ember Trek. Freya is a great option there. So yeah, that's something I really wanted to touch on. Now I just want to show you real quick the shell, and then I'll talk about the PvP match because the video is already kind of long, but it's important to just show like how much turn meter manipulate. I think she's the best turn meter push in the game. Although Fusho, whenever she is skilled up as well, might be a pretty interesting contestant there. But I do have a 20 speed roll on the Jackal Guard, so no one's out speeding my Freya for sure. She's got HP, and then if she's the highest speed among all allies, it reduces her damage taken. She's the fastest speed. The thing that I don't know about this shell is if it calculates prior to the turn meter boost with Bulwark. That's what I don't know. But that's what she's running. This is her PvE speed. But that doesn't matter. What matters is her PvP speed. She is the fastest character by far uh, for me. So this is 333. And if you apply that to the math that we did, right, which is the 0.92, so 333 times 0.92, sorry, divided by 333 divided by 0.92, 361 speed. Pretty quick. So yeah, I wanted to show you this RTA match because uh like this character went full like damage CC, and Freya here, just watch the amount of turn meter boosting that Freya ends up giving herself for sure. And then Heinrich, who's like our main damage dealer, along with Mio. Like the opponent never gets a turn. It's absolutely insane how much turn meter boosting she actually does. And I'm sorry for showing your name. I'm not trying to make an example or anything. It's just, I want to show you. So big turn meter pushback and push up from our team. We're also getting boosts uh, from our Lily, and we're getting multiple debuffs on the enemies. And Freya already gets a turn. She gets another turn, and you see here like we're just using we're using this Heinrich and Mio to just keep turn meter pushing everyone. Like everyone's getting turn meter pushback, turn meter pushed up. Uh, and he never gets a turn. Now I know Mio and Lily are also turn meter boosting. Like it's just turn meter boost everywhere. But everyone is getting pushback, like the Messiah and Yelly, because they're not on immunity. We push up the Heinrich here, strip the immunity from Freya and Noble, and they also get the turn meter pushback from Freya. And then Mio, like that turn meter pushback is huge. Lily goes again, is going to push up the Heinrich. And then the Heinrich also applies a bunch of the debuffs, pushes everyone back. Mio goes, pushes everyone back. Freya. It's awesome. So, guys, if you haven't checked out Freya, man, check her out, guys. Like that Dreamweave or Dream Guide static ability is absolutely insane. I love it. This is why I want more lattice in the game, is because then you get to like dabble in these support characters that you wouldn't before, right? You're like kind of forced to build up the new OPLD. You're forced to build your damage dealer, your DPS, and you can't really like forfeit your lattices because they're just so rare, and it really takes away from you being able to build up really cool characters. Like I said, I think Fusho is probably awesome, fully skilled up too. And yeah, that's why I wish I had more lattice. It's really hard to show characters if they're good or not. Like I know I got a lot of heat for the new character here because yeah, I'm sure she's good with lattices, but my video on her was just it was showcasing that if you pull her, she's not the solution for Rangokutsu at her base mode. So yeah, if you put lattices into people, Rangokutsu I think is certainly manageable, but the way they sold that bothered me. Anyway, guys, check out Freya. That's all I got for you. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you on the next one. See ya.